I used to think there was nothing sweeter than hearing the words, "I love you." Every time my wife said them, it was like the world stopped for a second. I'd carry that warmth through my day, believing I was the man she wanted, the one she had chosen for life. We weren't perfect, but I thought we had what mattered: trust, loyalty, and love. I thought when she said those words, she meant them just for me. Looking back now, I can see I was living in a story I wrote in my head, while she was writing a completely different one behind my back. I never thought those 3 words could one day cut me open like a knife, but they did. At first, the changes were subtle. She didn't laugh at my jokes anymore. Her eyes seemed to glaze over when I spoke. Bedtime conversations turned into silence. She started carrying her phone everywhere: kitchen, bathroom, even when she went to check the mail. I told myself not to be paranoid. Work stress, I thought. Maybe she's just tired. Maybe it's me. I convinced myself she still loved me, that the woman who once held my face in her hands and promised forever couldn't possibly be slipping away. But deep down, in that place you don't want to listen to, I felt it. A distance growing. A shadow between us. And I had no idea she was already giving her heart to someone else. The night it happened started like any other. I was sitting on the couch, flipping through channels, while she sat across the room scrolling on her phone. Then she suddenly smiled. The kind of smile I hadn't seen directed at me in months. She lifted the phone to her ear and softly said, "I love you." My heart leapt. Without thinking, I looked up at her and whispered back, "I love you too." But she didn't even look at me. Her eyes were locked on the floor. A second later, I realized her words weren't meant for me at all. She was on the phone with him. It felt like the ground gave out beneath me. My stomach dropped. My chest tightened. In a matter of seconds, I went from feeling like her husband to realizing I was just background noise in my own home. And in that single second, my whole marriage collapsed around me. That night replayed in my head for days. I lay awake staring at the ceiling, trying to make sense of it. Every time she had pulled away from me, every excuse about working late, every moment she seemed distant, suddenly it all made sense. She wasn't tired. She wasn't stressed. She wasn't busy. She was in love with someone else. The humiliation ate me alive. I felt like a fool. How many times had I kissed her goodnight while she was texting him under the covers? How many times had I poured out my heart only for her to roll her eyes and run back to him the moment I turned away? My appetite disappeared. My friends noticed something was wrong, but I couldn't even form the words to explain. How do you tell people the woman you trusted with everything made you feel like nothing? But the truth had one more cruel twist waiting for me. I decided to confront her. My hands were shaking as I asked, "Who were you saying I love you to the other night?" She froze, then laughed. Laughed. As if my pain was some kind of joke. "Oh, don't be so dramatic," she said. "It was just a call. You're overthinking." But I wasn't. I knew. And the look in her eyes told me she knew that I knew. In that moment, something inside me shifted. For weeks, I had been drowning in shame, begging myself to be enough for her. But as I stood there watching her minimize, deny, and belittle me, I felt a fire burn through the fog of heartbreak. That's when I realized I wasn't the fool anymore. The next morning, I didn't beg her for answers. I didn't chase her affection. I didn't try to compete with the man she had already chosen over me. I chose myself. I started packing my things. The silence in the house was deafening, but it wasn't the silence of defeat. It was the silence of clarity. She didn't chase me. Not at first. She just watched, arms crossed, still smirking like she had the upper hand. But when she saw I was serious, when she saw me loading boxes into the car, her tone changed. Suddenly, she wasn't so confident anymore. She followed me out the door, tears streaming down her face, begging me to stop, promising it was nothing, swearing she didn't mean it. But it was too late. Those words weren't mine anymore. She had given them to someone else, and I wasn't about to settle for scraps. I walked away from that house with nothing but a few boxes and my dignity. And you know what? That was enough. For the first time in months, I felt free. Free from the lies. Free from the humiliation. Free from the woman who thought my love was disposable. She thought I'd be broken forever. But I'm stronger now than she'll ever be. And if you're listening to this, if you've been where I've been, hear me when I say, don't waste your life begging for someone who doesn't value it. Don't let their betrayal define your worth. Because sometimes, losing them is the best way to finally find yourself.